Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings for Wednesday, February 28th. We have 9 games today on this Wednesday. Nice size slate. Like always, before we get started, drop a like on the video, guys. I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, then make sure you click that subscribe button down below. And that way you'll never miss out on any of my new uploads. You'll get my videos every day. But starting off at point guard, on this 9-game slate, we got Westbrook and Harden, kind of our two really top-tier options here. Westbrook's going up against Dallas. Harden has a matchup with the Clippers. I do like both matchups here. Westbrook against Dallas, obviously you don't love Dallas just because of their pace, but they're just not a good defensive team. Harden going up against the Clippers. This game, definitely more intriguing when it comes to pace. And the Clippers are also a team that doesn't fare very well defensively against the point guard. But I've been saying this lately. Anthony Davis right now is just a guy I don't want to fade. I know he's going up against the Spurs, but AD just has such a high floor right now, such a high ceiling, and I still have him ranked ahead of Westbrook and Harden today. So for that reason, these are not really guys I'm forcing in today. At least I don't think so, unless we get some serious value and then maybe I can fit in 2 studs. Then I could play like Anthony Davis and Harden. Right now I think I'd prefer Harden over Westbrook. But Westbrook's a little bit cheaper than normal. He's only $11,300. We haven't seen Westbrook that kind of cheap. He's usually like 11.6, 11.7. But even with that discount, still think I want to go Harden there. But both of these guys are not guys I'm really jamming in. In like this 9K range, don't really like a lot of the options here. Like Curry, I don't think I'm going to be on today. Victor Oladipo, not a guy I feel like I have to have. Bradley Beal against the Warriors, you can maybe go there in tournaments. I know last time the Wizards and Warriors play, I believe Beal got ejected. And Draymond Green, him and Draymond Green both got ejected. Maybe Beal comes out here and tries to play really well. You don't know. But in this 8K range, there's a guy that I really like here. Chris Paul, 8,300 with the revenge narrative going back to the Clippers Stadium, to the Staples Center, to face the Clippers. This isn't the first time he's gone back to LA this year. They did play earlier this year. Chris Paul did put up 40 DraftKings points in 34 minutes against his former team. Obviously, you love the former team narrative. And you just love the price tag on Chris Paul. The matchup's really good as well. And I believe the last time these teams faced, they almost fought. I know Blake Griffin was a big part of that. While this team, or both of these teams, kind of got into a scuffle last time they played. There's a good chance we might see some ejections here because both of these teams kind of rivals right now. And for that reason, I think that does make this game very interesting for DFS purposes. I think we see this game really shoot out, be very high scoring, pretty competitive as well. Even though the Clippers are on a back-to-back, I still like this game as a possible game stack. And Chris Paul is a guy that I want to have. Just think he's too cheap at 8,300. I think it's very likely he pays off this price tag. So really like him in cash. I think he can go there in tournaments. I think he has a lot of upside here. So he's like my favorite mid-range play at point guard. There are obviously other pivots that you could go to. Like if you wanted to do Drew Holiday against the Spurs, you could do that. Maybe if you want to get more exposure to that game, Lou Williams against the Rockets, you could do that. But I mainly want Chris Paul in that mid-tier. Then if we're going to like the 6K range and 5K range, just trying to go a little bit cheaper. I don't love a ton of these plays as like options that really stick out to me. Probably my favorite play here might most likely be like Austin Rivers in that game. Just really like that game, like its stack potential. Think it's pretty high scoring. Rivers you could play at 5,700. I know he was kind of mouthing at the bench. I know he was in the scuffle in that last game when they played. So maybe he comes out here and tries to play really well. You could play Rivers at 5,700. I think he's a fine mid-tier options today. If we're trying to find value at point guard, there's a value play I like here. Patty Mills at 4,400 in a matchup against the Pelicans. You love this matchup. The Pelicans lately have been one of the worst defensive teams. Been giving up a ton of fantasy points to all positions. Great spot for Mills. He's playing a ton of minutes. Last 2 games he started, and he's played 33 and 35 minutes. It looks like they're going to continue to start Mills, and Danny Green's going to continue to play off the bench. So I think we see Mills play 25 to 30 minutes nightly as long as he's in the starting lineup. In the 2 games that he started, 37, 23 DraftKings points. Been consistent. I think it's pretty likely he pays off this price tag. It's such a good matchup. Mills is cheap. He's playing 30 minutes a night. Pretty clear value option here in my opinion. And he's only 4,400. Does free you up some salary. Maybe if you want to fit in 2 studs today, you could use Mills at point guard if you're trying to save a little bit of salary. But that's really what I see here for the value. Mainly want Mills here if I'm going cheap. And like this 5K range, kind of like Rivers here. Maybe if you want to play Andrew Harrison, you could do that. But I think I'd prefer Rivers there. Don't see a lot of these plays like Murray, Schroeder, Payton. Don't think these are guys I'm really forcing in. Mainly going to be going for point guard value, or maybe mainly going to be going for value here, or just play like Chris Paul, maybe Lou Will, Drew Holiday. These are the guys I really want at point guard. So moving on to shooting guard, not really a position I want to pay up at today, at least not like in cash games. If I'm making one lineup, not sure if these top options are players that I'm really forcing in cash today. They're good tournament plays though. I think Devin Booker right now is always a good tournament play. He's just been playing so well lately. He's been showing a ton of upside, but at 8,600, I really won't be going there in cash. Not a lot of cash plays I see here, and guys I'm really forcing in if I'm making one lineup. I don't see a lot of options that are going to make that one lineup. But like Drew Holiday, Lou Will, kind of mentioned these guys. These guys are really good tournament plays, I feel like. I think Rivers is probably a good cash option if you're trying to save some salary at shooting guard and you want to play him here. He's only 5,700 like I mentioned. You could use him as a value play. But then if we're trying to go for value, I think this is a position we can go cheap at. Some good value plays I see here. One value play I like at 4,900 is Kelly Oubre in a matchup against the Warriors. Really like this spot for Kelly Oubre. We know the Warriors, they like to play a lot of small ball lineups, which sets up well for Kelly Oubre. He did play 38 minutes earlier this year against the Warriors and put up 38 DraftKings points. We obviously know Bradley Beal got ejected in that game. One of the reasons why Kelly Oubre saw an increase in minutes, but just with the Warriors playing small ball, that's going to lean to Oubre getting more minutes here. We know he's going to be pretty much locked in to 25 to 30 minutes every single night off the bench. And if he's playing really well, if he's shooting the ball really well, he'll play more than that. He'll usually play close to 35 minutes if he's playing well. And he has upside. He can definitely get 7, possibly 8x on this price tag. He's done it before. So do like him in tournaments. I think cash games, he's a fine play. We might get better value to where we wouldn't have to use Oubre in cash, but as a tournament play, really like him. Think he has a lot of upside here. 4,900, I think he's a good shooting guard value option. Another shooting guard value play I see is Tyrone Wallace at 4,700 in that Houston-LA game. Really like Wallace here as a value play. If Danilo Gallinari is out again today, Tyrone Wallace should be in the starting lineup for this game. Even if Gallinari plays, there's a good chance Wallace will still be in the starting lineup. He just won't see as much usage if Gallinari's on the court. But he's still a good value play, in my opinion, whether Gallinari plays or not. He should get the minutes, should see 25 to 30 minutes, if not more than that. Did play 37 minutes against Phoenix, their last game. The Clippers are playing right now as I'm recording this video. They're playing the Nuggets. Not really sure how Wallace is doing, but that game is going on as I'm recording this video. If Wallace plays really well on Tuesday night, he could definitely be a good value play here at 4,700, especially in the pace of that game. Love Wallace getting to play in a fast-paced game. But that's really what I see for shooting guard. For the value options, at least the plays that really stick out to me here. So let's go ahead and move on to small forward. You got Giannis up top here, KD as well. Don't think these are guys I'm really trying to pay up for today. Really, the only reason I kind of like Giannis today is just because of the price tag. But like I said earlier, Anthony Davis is a guy I'm really trying to pay up for. Obviously, it's going to be hard to play like Anthony Davis and Giannis, especially if you want to play Chris Paul. I think you can definitely play Chris Paul and Anthony Davis, but that $2,000 going up to Giannis going to cost you a lot. And right now, I'm just not seeing enough cheap value to where I could pay up for Giannis. I think he's a good tournament play, but I'm still going to prefer AD in cash. I think AD is just such a solid play right now. He's so safe. He's got such a high floor, such a high ceiling. And anytime he's playing and anytime he's on a slate, Anthony Davis right now is going to be a guy I'm trying to force in. So Giannis won't really be going there. Same with Kevin Durant. Don't think I'm going to be paying up for these guys. Don't really like a ton of the small forward expensive options. So if we do want to go to this mid tier, I think there are definitely plays here that I like Otto Porter at 6,700 against the Warriors. You obviously don't love that defensive matchup. The Warriors are solid defensively, but Otto Porter did do really well earlier this year against this team. We know Bradley Beal was out for the second half in that game, but Porter still put up 53 DraftKings points in 33 minutes earlier this year against the Warriors. He had a solid game. He's been playing well lately with John Wall off the court. Been such a solid fantasy play. I believe he had another solid game on Tuesday night. Not exactly sure about that. But lately he's been playing really well. The minutes have been there. And at 6,700, I do like Otto Porter as a mid-tier play. I don't think I really want to pay it for like the top options at small forward. So a guy like Otto Porter is a guy I'm really going to be penciled in on today. And if we're looking to go a little bit cheaper, a lot of the plays like Oubre, Wallace that you could use for value, they're small forward eligible. So if you wanted to play them here, you could do that. I don't see a lot of 5K plays I'm absolutely in love with. Mainly a position where I'm going to just try and go to maybe play like Otto Porter in that mid-tier or find value. Small forward definitely has some value plays today. Mario Hezonja could be definitely a good value option. We have news right now that Aaron Gordon is questionable as I'm recording this on Tuesday night. If Aaron Gordon misses today, I would expect Mario Hezonja to move back into the starting lineup and be looking at least 25 to 30 minutes. When he started this year for Aaron Gordon, he's played good minutes and he's been pretty consistent for fantasy. He is only 4,600. We've gotten him cheap, and especially if AG is out today and Hezonja starts, he's going to be a good value play if you want to go cheap at small forward. But that's really what I'm seeing for the small forward value. You obviously got Oubre and Wallace you could play here. Maybe if you want to play Trevor Ariza in tournaments because of the fight with the Clippers. I know he was a part of that scuffle in the last game, so maybe he comes out and tries to play really well. But I would really only use him in tournaments. I would prefer Hezonja at the same price, especially if AG misses. But I think that's it for small forward for the value that I see. So let's go ahead, move on to power forward. We've got Anthony Davis, our top option here. Like I said, Anthony Davis, a guy I'm just going to be locking in right now. Just the last few games, AD's been playing out of his mind, been playing so well with Boogie off the court. I know there was a little thing that came out, or that Anthony Davis came out and said he's going to have to play like Russell Westbrook had to play last year whenever Kevin Durant left. He's just going to have to do everything, and he's been doing that lately, scoring a ton of points, grabbing a ton of rebounds. If you look at the points and the rebounds the last 4 games, 42, 45, 27, and 53 real-life points, 15, 17, 13, and 18 rebounds. Been getting a ton of blocks as well. He's just such a good play right now, no matter what the matchup is. He's got so much upside. He's got over 90 DraftKings points. In 2 of his last 3 games, has a 77-point game in there against the Lakers. Put up 60 against Detroit, 87 against Brooklyn. 52 was a disappointing game for AD against Milwaukee. He only put up 52, and I would say that's a disappointing game. I would be shocked right now if AD gets less than 50 just at the moment. He's just playing so well, got so much usage. He's taking a ton of shots as well. He's taken almost 30 shots a game his last 3 games, 29 shots, 26, 34. Dude's just playing out of his mind. I'm locking in Anthony Davis in cash games today, not really thinking twice about it. He's my top stud on this slate. He should be your top stud as well. Just has so much upside. I'm not worried about the matchup with the Spurs. With a guy like Anthony Davis, you don't really worry about the matchup. The dude's going to perform no matter who he's going up against. And he's the guy I'm really trying to jam in pretty much in all my lineups today. So obviously if I'm paying up at power forward, I want Anthony Davis here. You could play there are some mid-tier plays you could go to, like Draymond kind of seems too cheap. You got Otto Porter you can play at power forward I definitely like. Maybe if you want to play LMA, if you think he has to play a lot of minutes here to guard AD, you could do that, but LMA, Green, I don't think these are guys I'm really jamming in. I'm mainly going to be playing Davis here, and if I don't play Davis at power forward, if I play him as center, I think he's center eligible on FanDuel. So for those of you that play on FanDuel, trying to find some other power forward plays, there are good options here, but a lot of guys are priced up. Like John Collins is priced up. He's been getting decent run lately, but he's up to 6,100. Al Horford, kind of a guy that sticks out, being a little bit too cheap, going up against Charlotte. You would think Al Horford's going to be needed here defensively to defend Dwight Howard. He did play 36 minutes earlier this year against the Hornets, 41 DraftKings points. Horford's been pretty up and down, been pretty disappointing lately. But with that $6,300 price tag, I think that does make him an intriguing option if you want to go to him in that mid-tier. And then if we're going to this 5K price tier and we're just trying to find some value, at 5,600, Dwight Powell could definitely be a value play here. He did start in their last game against the Pacers and played 33 minutes and put up 30 DraftKings points, got a double-double. If Dwight Powell does continue to start, I think he is a good value option. He's a pretty good point-per-minute producer. If he gets the minutes, he's going to get the DraftKings points. Obviously, it's not the best matchup against OKC. They're solid defensively against the center. But as long as Powell remains in the starting lineup, the minutes should be there. So you could use him if you're going cheap at power forward. He's the main play that really sticks out to me here. And if you're going like sub 5K, it's really Hezonja here. If Aaron Gordon's out, we could play him. You could do Ariza in tournaments if you wanted to go there. But it's really what I'm seeing for power forward. Maybe Bertans you could use at 3,900. We do have news that Paul Gasol is doubtful for today. And if Gasol does miss, we could see Bertans move into the starting lineup. But he doesn't get as much usage when Gasol misses rather than when Aldridge misses. When Aldridge misses, I think Bertans is a great value play. But when Aldridge is on the court, he's pretty much going to get all the usage. Obviously, Gasol being out helps Bertans a little bit, but I don't know if it helps him enough to where we really want to play him today. But he could be a guy you consider if you're just trying to punt this position. Only 3,900. That's what I see for power forward for the value. So let's go ahead and move on to center. You got Drummond up top here in a great spot against the Bucks. Right now, I just don't think I'm going to be able to play Drummond today since I like Chris Paul in that sort of same price tier. I love Anthony Davis like at the top. So Drummond's kind of sandwiched in between them in price, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to get to him. Kind of the same with Marc Gasol, Aldridge. Obviously, since I like Chris Paul and AD so much today, it's going to be hard to play these guys. But if you wanted to consider some of them, obviously Drummond at 9,600 I think is a great play. I think he's a little bit too cheap. I'd prefer him over Gasol. Probably prefer him over Aldridge. I think Drummond, you could definitely pay up for him, but like on FanDuel, I think Anthony Davis is center eligible on FanDuel. If I'm paying up at center on FD, I'm just going to the top to Davis. But looking for other center plays, if you want to go to this mid-tier, if you want to get some more exposure to this Houston-LA game, DeAndre Jordan, 7,600. I think he's a really good tournament play. You got Green there, who seems a little bit too cheap today. You could use him in tournaments as well, 7,200. And then like the 6K, 5K range, not a lot of plays here I love besides like Horford, who I just think is too cheap today. Like I said, John Collins kind of priced up. Not really sure if I want to go to him. Alex Len, don't know if I want to go there against Memphis. That's such a tough matchup against Gasol. Len really disappointed last game against the Pelicans. I was very high on him that day. He only put up 8 DraftKings points in 21 minutes. Just a really bad game from Alex Len. But for what it's worth, he has done well this year against Memphis, putting up an average of 23 DraftKings points and has played an average of 25 minutes. Obviously, some of those games he played off the bench. We haven't got word or not whether Chandler's going to play. If he's out again, I think we could consider Alex Len because I feel like Len's going to have to play minutes here to guard Gasol whenever Gasol's on the court. So I guess we could consider him a value option, but I feel like he's definitely risky. But he is cheap, 5,700. If he gets the minutes, pretty likely he pays off that price. And then going sub 5K for the really cheap value. Not a lot of plays here I'm absolutely in love with. If Clint Capella misses, that could open up some value with the Houston centers. We could maybe play Nene at 3,400 if he starts, or Tyreek Black if they start. Good chance they have to play some decent minutes, at least 15 to 20 minutes, because they're going to need a guy with size to defend DeAndre Jordan. And whenever DeAndre's on the court, they're going to need like Nene or Tyreek Black to be on the court. That's if Capella misses. So maybe you play them as a cheap option, but they're definitely not guys I'm really forcing in today. So I think that's really it for center, at least the options that stand out to me. I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the vid, just make sure you click that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. Just give me a follow there, or you can leave a comment down below. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck tonight on this slate, guys. Peace.